Welcome back to Palm Harbor Local, the show about the active outdoor and healthy lifestyle that defines life here on Florida's Gulf Coast. I'm your host, Donnie Hathaway, and today I'm sitting down with Cavan Valance, who's the founder of MPF Collective, and we're having a real conversation about wellness, identity, and what it actually looks like to step back, reset, and rebuild your life with more clarity and intention. A perfect conversation to kick off the midway point of 2026. Let's dive in. Cavan, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having me, dude.
Yeah, I'm excited to chat with you. We had a great conversation our first time we chatted. And we have a lot of similar interests and stuff, but let's start with your current business that you have, MPF Collective. And for the people, for the viewers, listeners, what is that and how did you get into that?
For sure. Well, first of all, thanks for having me. I feel like we should have just mic'd up our last conversation at the coffee shop if we could have, but we'll do our best to bring it back around. MPF Collective, Mental, Physical, Financial Collective. This is a new business that my fiance and I started in November. We launched and we brought in our first round of partners. We onboarded them in December and went live Q1 of this year. And the purpose was to help founders, entrepreneurs, business owners, side hustlers, creators find their vision and their voice by looking inward, putting themselves first, their identity before their business. And the reason why we were so adamant on that being one of our pillars in creating this mentorship, this guidance group, this collective, was because we had both built multiple 6- and 7-figure businesses where we were burnt out, anxious, filled with overwhelm, lost a sense of who we were and ourselves inside of the business. It was always push and grow and do more, and we never stopped to really check in on who we were and who was the engine and operator of that business along the way, where we felt so disconnected that we didn't want to do it anymore, whether it be in the industry or that field. And we took some time off. About a year, both of us, and we were working on different side projects, but all along that way, looking inward to figure out who it is that we were, what it is that we wanted to do, and how we could bring that together. So I asked Lacey, hey, do you want to do a business together? And she at first said, no, I don't. And I was like, well, we're going to. You just don't know it yet. And I brought up this idea of, hey, you have the experience with your financial business, you have the experience with your life coaching, your neuro health, you've worked in health and fitness, you've coached people on fitness, performance, and nutrition, you've been through it yourself. And then I've run a 7-figure business, had 30 people on my team, saw how people dealt with burnout, lost 100 pounds myself, been on my own fitness journey. And I wanted to bring the best of both of what we had to offer together to create this ecosystem where people could feel like themselves. Mm-hmm. So in a nutshell, MPF Collective was our way of saying, hey, we believe in the individual so much that we wanted to actually show the business owners who are doing well but struggling that they could use systems, use a sense of self-identity to move themselves forward and actually enjoy the process of growth instead of feeling frustrated with growth or trying to keep up nowadays because social media and the AI, the rate of change, what people are saying, the comparisons that people have every single day when you open up social media and everybody's doing so well and you're struggling to get by. We wanted to push all that aside to put them at the center of their business once and for all so they can actually enjoy growth again.
I mean, putting the person first, I think, a lot of times, we, as business owners, you get into business because you have an idea or something you want to do, a service you want to provide or a product you came up with and want to sell or whatever. But it goes back to another conversation I was having earlier with the work-life balance or you've got to figure out what brings you joy as the individual and make sure that work is bringing you joy just as much as your personal life is.
Yeah, I mean, we have different mechanisms that we use in our business day in and day out to make sure that we're running the business the way we would teach others to run their business. And I'm never going to say, you have to do it exactly this way. Mm-hmm. But the frameworks that we've created allow them to look inward and always become aware of what's going on. So our aligned ethos starts with awareness. Mm-hmm. So Why are you doing what you're doing? Why are you stressed out right now? Why is your business not making the money that you want it to make? Why are you struggling to?
Before we continue with today's episode, I want to take a quick moment to thank Valley Bank for supporting Palm Harbor Local. I recently moved my business banking over to Valley, and what stood out to me right away was how relationship-driven their approach is. You're not calling a hotline, you're working with real people who understand local businesses and make decisions locally. This episode is supported by Chad Britz, first vice president at Valley Bank's Countryside branch, who works closely with individuals and business owners throughout our entire community. If this kind of local, relationship-driven banking matters to you, you can learn more at www.valley.com or email Chad directly at cbritts@valley.com.
Have conversations online. Why are people not connecting with your posts? And it's actually pushing them to ask those questions versus emotionally reacting to the situation that is at hand, right? If you look at, and this could work when it comes to health or business owners, how you feel in a certain situation eventually leads to how you identify with your business. And if you're identifying in a negative light instead of a positive light, it's going to be hard for you to get excited and fired up about what you're doing with your business. So we always start with awareness, right? And after awareness, does that lead to alignment with how you feel or how you want to feel? Are you aligned with that? Is it aligned with who you are, what you want to do, your why, right? Are you going to be able to battle through all the different hows and the struggles that happen along the way? And after we become aware and aligned, now we can organize and arrange. Once we organize and arrange, now we can go into implementation. How do we implement this into our day-to-day? How do we integrate this into the systems that we create? And then from there, that's where we see growth and nurture. We can evaluate and evolve, and then we can find a new direction or a continued direction moving forward. Because you've interviewed several people, and I'm sure that a large percentage of those people have tried something, it didn't work, so they pivot and do something else. Instead of asking why it didn't work and going back to the drawing board, which is one of the most simple business entrepreneurial frameworks that there is to question why or why not something worked or didn't work, and then go back to the drawing board and try it again and give it the time that it needs to develop. So, awareness is huge.
The systems in place to step back and analyze your business, to understand what's going on, or is this actually working, or am I just making an emotional decision and moving on from it because it didn't work in the first 2 weeks?
And I did a lot of consulting in that down year, that year off, the year I wrote my book, the year after I closed my fitness and wellness business, and before I opened up MPFC, I wrote a book, and then I did a lot of consulting with online coaches and entrepreneurs, and that was one of the main things. They would do something, it wouldn't work, they'd beat themselves up, they would emotionally overreact, and then they would just try and do something different. Instead of going back and asking why and becoming aware of that, right? Because we live in a day and age where you can open up Instagram, and if you're in the business world, this is what my feed is flooded with, is everybody who is a successful business coach is doing so incredibly well, and there's nothing wrong with everything and I was like, this is such BS. This is, all of you are liars. This is hard. And it doesn't mean that we can't have both things going on, but everybody's going to show their best side on social media. More so now, people are starting to show both sides of the equation, which I love.
But still, sometimes you just see the positive stuff, and you get your
or that's what you see, and then immediately you react to it instead of worrying about having a system in place and sticking to that system. So if I had to put in a nutshell the different things that we do is helping people find alignment by becoming aware of who they are, getting into a scheduling rhythm. Because most people just wake up and they're like, I guess I'm going to do this today. I actually saw one of my clients sent it to me. They're like, this is how I feel. And they were like, if you're an entrepreneur and you don't know what to do, just put all of your tasks into a spinning wheel on the internet and hit the button, and then you're going to do that today. And I was like, that's what most people wake up and they're like, I guess I'll do this today because I want to or I don't want to, versus having a structured plan and rhythm and knowing when you have the best energy levels to be people facing or doing deep work or doing content creation, and then actually going back and measuring the success of what got done and what didn't get done. So that's 2. 3 would be a quick decision-making framework to decide what is it that you want to get done, what is it that you do not do, in that time where you want to get that thing done, and what's
Yeah.
the very next action step you need to take to move that forward. So a decision-making framework of, do I do this now or do it later?
Mm-hmm.
And then fourth would be finding your vision and your voice, like showing up as your true authentic self and not being embarrassed or scared or shy to show up every single day. Because like what you just alluded to as well, people are starting to show up more authentically. The world needs more of that.
Yeah.
With all of this AI slop and automations that are out there, like keyword this and do that, and you're not talking. Even now, Claude can go on to your ManyChat and have full-on conversations with somebody.
Yeah,
You don't even
I
have to
saw
show
that.
up anymore.
I saw that, yeah.
But I feel like, and this is my personal opinion, that those who show up and send video message and voice messages and address people by name and have the time and space, or a team even, to follow up
Right.
with real human connection,
Yeah.
are going to be the ones that actually see success long term.
Yeah.
I'm not anti-AI. Trust me, I use it every day.
Right,
But
right.
I think there's a time and place for it.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. We'll dive more into that here shortly. But I want to go back to like the year that you took off,
Mm-hmm.
and like talk through like that process for you. Like, what was that like? What were some challenges that you had to kind of overcome or work through, and like why did you decide to take a year off? And
So,
I mean, you said you were working and stuff too. So
yeah,
like,
I mean, I'll go back a little further.
Yeah.
When I launched Hidden Summit, which was my fitness and wellness business, I did it because the gyms that I had opened and grown, and I was partial owner and an operator of the CrossFit gyms that I was running in New York City, shut down because of COVID. And I was still collecting a salary, and the gyms weren't making any money because the members couldn't come anymore. So the owner of the gym said, "Hey, we're going to furlough you, so give you some time off, and we'll have you back in a month or two." And I just took that as a kick in the butt to say, okay, I'm meant to go do something different. And I had been doing a lot for the members and some people online because my social media had grown at that point, for free. I just created a community, the Hidden Summit group, to host what was just one-on-ones for the most part. I mean, I remember in the beginning I was on one-on-one calls with different people from like 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday and Tuesday.
Wow.
And I was like, okay, this is a lot of time.
Yeah.
And I was doing it all for free.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, maybe we do this in group calls. And then I started doing group calls on Monday, for mindset huddles on Monday, and then nutrition talk Tuesday, and then fitness on Wednesday, and then, critical thinking on Thursday. And we had all of these different calls, and that helped me get into a rhythm. But then I got furloughed, and I was like, okay, I need to make money. So I just started asking people. I took 2 weeks. I went away. I flew to St. Louis because I was a first form athlete at the time, and had some friends there I could stay with just to get out of the city and figure out what I wanted to do. And I just started asking the people who were on the group calls and taking part of my workout classes online, like, do you want to work together? Because it seems like you have more things that you want to handle mentally, physically, and I'd love to work with you. And I was able to supplement my entire salary within 2 weeks, getting people to sign up with monthly
That's
recurring
amazing.
payments. Like, and at that point, I was just like, taking Venmos,
Yeah.
I wasn't like, I'm going to grow a
What's the
business
quickest
right
way
now.
to get
I was
this
like,
going? Yeah.
how do I make sure I can keep my head above water?
Yeah.
And it worked out so well that when they asked me to come back to the gyms, I said, hey, like, I'm not going to come back. I'm going to lean into this thing and see what happens.
How long have you been part of the gym at that point?
5 years. Yeah. From the
from
birth of
that's
the gym.
like, yeah,
Yeah. We had
to-
one gym, and we were 6 gyms in 5 years in New York City.
So that's a big decision to be like,
Yeah.
I'm good.
Well, yeah, and my friend and the owner of the gyms at the time was like, "Hey, dude, like, I've started my businesses before. I get it. I believe that you'll do well. Go do your thing."
Yeah. Nice.
And I did.
Yeah.
So that was 2020. From probably trying to think of the dates, mid 2020 to late 2020, and then 2021, 2022, 2023, the business grew. I had brought on a couple coaches, friends who just wanted to help coach clients. So they would bring in their own clients at first, get them on the calls, do the workout programs that we'd program together. 22, I hired a business coach and spent what at the time was like an absurd amount of money on a business coach. But we went from 30K months to 100K+ months in 3 months.
Crazy.
And I had to bring on more people. So
Yeah.
just this rate of growth and change happened so rapidly. And I was like, I'm figuring this out and building this plane while I'm flying it. And we're going to just do our best. And that's what we just kept trying to do every single day. But over the time, there was a couple loose wheels, and I made a couple of bad decisions in bringing in some people who weren't 100% in on the mission. So the mission sort of changed, and we tried to pivot too many times. So 2022 to 23 kind of hit our peak. And at one point, I had a couple key players leave just like that. People started a business underneath me while they were coaching.
Oh, yeah.
I had someone just, one of my right-hand person left me with like a very corporate email. Someone who spoke to every single day, like who I considered a good friend of mine, emailed me like, hey, like I'm going to start my own business, but if you need me, I'll work until the end of the month. I was like, let's get on a call. And they just reiterated that. And I was like, no, you're done by the end of the day. Like, and then the next day they launched their own business and started posting about that. So it had been something that they were planning.
Yeah.
So all of these different things started to happen, and I felt burnt out by the process at that point, where I was like, I could try and save this thing, but I don't know if I want to. And I don't know if you've ever felt that way with any of your businesses. So that was like 23 to 24, just kind of kept it afloat for, 3/4 of a year. And then 24, Lacey and I went to Paris and got engaged. And I was just the happiest 2 weeks of our adult lives, and just, being in a different country and with no worries in the world. And then I remember the day before I came back, I had a panic attack. I was like, I'm coming back to this burning down business, and I don't know what to do. And I was like, I don't want to do it anymore, but I have all these responsibilities. I have people I need to pay and all this different stuff. And I thought about it on the plane ride home, and I let all of the coaches, I gave them 60 days because I'm another, I was like, I care about people, and I didn't want them to be like at a loss. I was like, you have 60 days to figure out how you're going to collect payment from your clients. And if you're a salary employee, you have 60 days to figure out what you're going to do next. And just shut it down.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I don't know what to do.
Do you think that's because like that business kind of started, there was no like, I'm going to start this business, like this is it, this is what I want to do? It was just kind of like,
I guess
we just started to kind of,
I don't, and I would consider that like a North Star. And I don't know if we had one. I think I just made one up with, I believe sounded good. I was like, we're going to have 100 coaches and we're going to help this many people, which means that everybody's going to be able to make this much money. And it was just kind of like building the dream while building the business, which now looking back is not the way to do it. It's like, you need your North Star, and this is the mission, and this is the data point we're going to track. And that's the one thing that you need to focus on to get to where it is you want to go. When you get there, then you can pivot and grow. But I didn't really have that. I was just like, I love helping people. I'm really good at helping people. And like, oh no, like there's a leak in the boat. Let's fill it. And I'm like, oh no, the thing is falling off over there. Like, we got to fix it. And it was just kind of like that one felt fine when we were doing it. And look, when you're making money and like you have like 1,000 leads coming in a month, it's like, okay, this is amazing.
This is
like,
great.
But then you look back and you're like, okay, maybe we shouldn't have pushed so hard and kind of just stayed and done what we got like amazing at the one thing we did really well, and instead of starting to do all these different things. Look, I'll say it this way: at its peak, we hosted events like where hundreds of people came, and we hosted 4 or 5 day events and brought in speakers and filled the room and worked out together and sauna and ice together and did hard things together, and that was amazing.
Fun,
and a thing that started from like, we can't leave our houses in New York especially. That's where I was living at the time. Leave our houses to go out and get fresh air, nevertheless like work out and be together. We were able to bring people together who didn't know each other, to bring them together online, to bring them together in person. That was something I'll never forget. And I would love to get to a point to be able to do that again with MPFC, because I think in-person events are the best. Yeah. So that was super cool.
I do like the in-person stuff. I mean, obviously, like, so my podcast, like the whole in-person thing, I've tried it online before, but it's just better when it's in person. And I started doing this year, Beyond the Mic events, where it's like, let's get a small group together. And we did the second one a few weeks ago. And like, after doing that one, first of all, I think putting on the events is not something I've done before, not something I enjoy, like the one-on-ones and the connection time and everything with people there. But that whole like putting on an event is something new to me. So there's a big learning curve and whatnot. But the second event that we did, I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. Right. It was a cool experience to have, the small group of people that were able to make it, show up and be there and find value in it too.
Yeah. I mean, our first event was in 2021 or 2. 2021
Yeah.
was our first event, and it was just a local gym in Brooklyn. And we had people come from Pennsylvania, New Jersey. We had people fly in. We just did a workout and then hung out at one of the bars I was a minority investor in afterwards. It was amazing.
Yeah.
It was just like, oh, we haven't been able to work out with people in person in such a long time. The gyms
Yeah.
are open. Let's do something.
Yeah.
And people loved it. And then the next year, we invited a few people. Like, hey, like we're gonna do this thing. Like I got a hotel. All you got to do is fly in, and we're going to work out together, and we're going to do little like mindset sessions together, and we'll sauna and ice together. We'll go tour the city, and we had like a group of 10, 15 people come in to do that the next year. And the next one, we had 100 plus people show up. And then the following year, we pulled back because I got so sick after that 4-day event. I just stressed myself.
Yeah.
I was like, you're running on energy.
Yeah.
And it's like whatever, like not eating, just going at a million miles an hour all day. And then everybody left, and I got deathly sick.
Yeah.
I was just like
Drained.
dead. Yeah. So we pulled back the next year, and we did like 30 people, rented Airbnbs, made it a little bit more intimate, like set up the sweat tent, the ice barrels at one of the houses. And just that was probably my favorite size event because I was able to have this connection with everybody that was there and not run around like a madman the whole time and actually participate. And the chats were smaller, but everybody got to, be a part of it versus just a participant in it. So that was cool.
That is cool. So go back. Let's talk about like your health and fitness journey. How did you get into fitness?
Sure. I mean, I've always been an athlete.
Yeah.
I'm one of four. I'm the eldest of four children, and we always played sports. So I played everything growing up, but fell into playing lacrosse growing up on Long
cool.
Island. So that was my favorite sport. And then after I graduated college, went on a non-health journey, experimenting with drinking and drugs and failing out of college almost, and just put on 100 pounds and lost my way for a little bit.
Crazy,
but
yeah.
I'm fortunate to have an amazing family around me. I had an episode, and this is posted all over my YouTube and Instagram, on Thanksgiving, where I drank a little bit too much, got into an argument with my dad. He probably just told me to stop drinking. I can't really remember.
Yeah.
But ran outside just fuming, and I punched a hole in my own car window. I was 22 years old.
Wow.
And just like blood all over my arm. And
Yeah.
I walked into the backyard, and my aunt was there, and she was looking down on me, and she was like, look, we love you, but you got to figure out what you're going to do with yourself.
Yeah.
Because
This ain't gonna work.
this isn't going to work. So that was a wake up call for me. Like nobody got mad at me that day.
Yeah.
They were just scared.
Yeah.
They're like, is he going to figure it out? She was like, we've all made mistakes before, but we're good, right? It's not perfect, but we're good. So you need to decide who it is that you want to be. And that was like a little smack of reality that I needed. So I started training again, was trained enough to lose 40 pounds, went back to school, got my grades up, got all A's the next semester. I was able to transfer from a community college to another college, started playing lacrosse again, became captain of that team,
Cool.
graduated a few years later with honors, so whatever that means on that piece of paper, magna cum laude. Whoa, did it.
Yeah.
And then found CrossFit after that.
Okay.
And it was exciting because it was still had a team environment. If you were going to take a class, you could challenge yourself in new ways every single day. There was always something to get better at. You're not great at everything, so you work really hard at the skills if you're smart, or you can avoid them like I did in the beginning and then try and figure it out later on. And it was just, it became a really big part of my life where I didn't join a CrossFit gym for a while, but I was just doing it in the park. Or I was doing it at the YMCA, and then I would just follow like a strength training program the whole entire time, and I would start running to train for half marathons, and just enjoyed fitness and that outlet.
Yeah.
I would imagine people would say I have a pretty addictive personality, and I just shifted away from the the drugs and the alcohol, and not going to school, and changed that to like getting good grades and working out and eating good, and just had more information, and I knew I loved the way I felt. I would say that when I really got into fitness and teaching fitness was around the time when my father passed away. So 2014. He was 59, out of shape, overweight, overworked, probably depressed. We don't know exactly what happened, but I would say he probably had a heart attack in his sleep because he was just overweight.
Wow.
And my brothers and I came together and said, that's never going to be us. And we're going to take care of ourselves no matter what.
Yeah.
Because we just didn't know what to do. So instead of like turning back to drinking and eating like a jerk, I was, I would lean into fitness. So that's when I was training for my races, and I joined a CrossFit gym, and I was at the gym by work and the gym by school. And I was like, this is an investment in my health. And it's not like, and it was like, when I can go to the gym by home, I'd go there. And if I wanted to work out on my break at work, I'd go there. So I just was able to do that, learned a little bit more about food along the way. But when I was running my first half marathon, I was on a record pace. I was a big dude, probably a little lighter than I am right now. So probably right around 200 pounds, running 7-minute miles for a half marathon. I was like, I feel amazing.
That's amazing, yeah.
Yeah. And then the last mile, I just started breaking down crying. Like I lost my shit.
Like in pain or?
No, because I lost my dad a few months earlier, and he wasn't there. And I was like, there's nothing I could have done to help him. Look at me. Like I changed my life around.
Yeah.
And I realized in that moment that I couldn't. And I came to terms with that. And I said, if I can't help him, I'm going to try like hell to help somebody else.
Wow.
Whether it's a son or a father or daughter or mother, I'm just going to start sharing my story and what I'm doing. And that's really what started like my social media career and putting myself out there, just what I was doing. And I'd have people reach out like, hey, I went on a run today. I appreciate you sharing what you did. Or like, hey, I tried that workout you shared. Thank you so much. And I was like, okay, maybe there's something here.
Yeah.
And that's what really shifted me from like the retail career I was in to wanting to work in fitness to shifting to being at full time at the CrossFit gyms to eventually opening up Hidden Summit, which got me to, now starting MPFC and doing what I'm doing to help other people in a different light. So that was, I've always been an athlete. I lost my way along the way. And when you lose somebody close to you because of health reasons, it affects you. And if I could share anything with anybody listening to this, like whether you're a successful entrepreneur or not, is that we lean into mental, physical, and financial health because they're all equally as important. And I believe that when you put yourself first, it means that you're going to put yourself first for mentally be well, physically be well, and then that will lead to you being more financially well. So I think physical health is super important.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, like if you don't have your physical health, like it doesn't matter how much money you have or whatever, right?
Yeah. And I think the other side of that too is, I mean, it as well. Like you walk into a room, you're a fit guy, like you demand attention. Like you're like, hey, like this guy takes care of himself. He's probably a little bit more organized than a lot of people that walk in and look like a slob. Yeah. At the end of the day, I think that's important too. And it might sound, cocky or in vain, but I do think it's really important. Yeah. I know when I walk into a room and I'm fit, I'm a bigger guy. I know I carry a lot of muscle, or it's like people are going to look at me differently than if I walked in and I was 50 pounds overweight and my clothes didn't fit the right way. And so, I mean, I think it's important for a number of different reasons.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So the fitness is, I mean, that's a big part of like what we do every day, like what you guys are doing with all your clients and stuff too, right?
Absolutely. I mean, what people are like, why do you have a fitness program in your business coaching mentorship? And I was like, well, because I think fitness is really important. Just because I'm a super fit business owner doesn't mean that you are, right? Yeah. My cousin's in our program, and he does mental health counseling. He's a full-time educator, but he's starting his, mental health. He has a degree in counseling, and he's starting a business and trying to get more clients and help more people. But he doesn't take care of himself. He used to, and then he just quit. So we are working on how we can build habits physically, because he has admitted that when he trains regularly, he feels better in the conversations that he has with the clients because he carries himself with more confidence. Yeah. He feels better at home when he's talking with his wife because he knows that he's more fit. He feels better being a dad because he can keep up with his 7-year-old more. So it's the little things like that matter. So just because I'm fit and I'm a business owner, I know that most aren't. And I think having that aspect where if you just opened up an app and you had a workout to follow that was included in your membership, that would be huge. Or you take the SFF course. The name of my book is Stay Fucking Fit. I kept it really simple. Don't know if we can curse on this podcast, but I'm going to. So I have the SFF starter course in there, right? And we touch on these physical, it's not just physical in the sense of working out, but physical habits, scheduling, making sure that you're doing the things that you're saying you're going to do every single day. Physical health goes beyond just what you do in the gym, but it's based on your environment as well, how you communicate with other people, like getting out into the world. Those things are super important.
Yeah, I like that. That's I've started to lift more weights recently than I used to run a lot.
We got to get you over to the gym.
Yeah.
Aaron says hi. I was with him this morning. He was like, bring him on by. I was like, I'll let him know. You got to come work out with us.
I've been to West Chase. I think I did. Caleb took me down there for the Murph workout.
Sure. That's coming in 8 weeks. We just started Murph prep this week. So come Thursdays.
Maybe I'll join you one time. But yeah, we built. So I started going to the Y for a little while, and then at one point we decided to put like a little gym in our garage, and we built a rack and stuff in our garage because it was like I have 2 young girls. The time, I got to go to the gym and then come home, just it shortened that.
Sure.
We didn't have a lot of time to be able to work out and stuff. So we knew there was something that was important to us and wanted to do for a long period of time. So in order to do that, we put a gym in our garage, and it's great because now if I miss my morning workout, I can just easily hop in there in the afternoon or go home after this and go work out. Right.
Yep.
So it's like, just the convenience of it. So whether it's like in your garage or having a gym nearby like you did, it's like you've got to have some outlet to be able to take care of yourself.
Yeah, I always say something is better than nothing.
Yeah.
And I'll go back to the example with my cousin inside the group, who's one of our partners. We call them partners because we don't want to be coach-client relationship. We're all adults and we're running businesses. I was like, hey, what can you do on your worst day? He's like, well, I know I could do push-ups and squats. I was like, cool, how many? And then he gave me a number, and that's what he was going to do. I said, how many days a week? He's like, at least 3. I was like, great, just do that for 2 weeks and let me know how you feel. And then he's posting in our group or community his updates and how he's going about it and how it's making him feel and the confidence that it's bringing already. So, and I said, one day you'll open up the app and you'll do a workout because I know you have dumbbells at home. Or one day you'll go and find a gym or a rec center or work out at the gym at school. But until then, do what you can. Something is always better than nothing.
Yeah.
You know what he brought up to me? Because he was a fitness client of mine, and this is when he got into fitness, and then he stopped the coaching program.
Yeah.
A lot of people do, and then they're like, I'm going to be able to continue to do this, and then they don't. He goes, he goes every year to Atlantic City with his buddies that he grew up with.
Okay.
And I mean, he's sober. He doesn't drink or anything, so he just goes down there and plays some cards or whatever, and then comes back. And he was in the middle of this program. He texted me and he's like, Cav, I don't know if I get a workout in, man. Like, these guys were up late. I'm tired. He's like, we got to go do this thing. And I was like, you got 7 minutes? He was like, yeah, I have 7 minutes. Why? I was like, okay, just set a timer for 7 minutes and do as many burpees as possible in 7 minutes. So he's sitting there doing burpees, and his buddy's like wakes up. He's like, what are you doing? He's like, I don't know, but my cousin just told me to do this, and this is the hardest workout I've ever done in my life. And I was like, you don't need a lot to get a lot done.
Right.
You just need a vision. Become aware of what it is that you would desire.
Yeah.
Why are you doing this? Get aligned, and then do the work.
Yeah.
Start. And if it doesn't work out, go back and review why. How can you get better? It's not that you're failing, it's that it's challenging. So how do we pivot and make that easier for ourselves the next time? How do we become more efficient in it? Right? The more we can question things, the more we can learn and grow from them.
Yeah. Do you think people have a hard time like doing that? Like kind of that self-awareness, like questioning?
Yeah, people are so reactive.
Yeah.
It's super reactive. And if it's hard, they don't want to do it.
Right.
But our mind can handle so much more than our body can, physically speaking, right? But it's the same if like you are trying to close clients and you have all these sales calls and they're saying no and no and no. You start to believe that you're not good at sales.
Right.
Or your business isn't worthwhile, or like your product sucks.
Yeah.
Which isn't true, but we're emotionally reactive to that moment because we're not getting exactly what we want. But if you take away the desire and have the intention, right, you can actually go into that more positively each and every single time.
Yeah.
Same thing with lead generation for DMs or engagement on social media. Like, we're looking at all these numbers and like what other people are getting likes and comments on versus what I am. So like I'm not as valuable as they are. When the truth is they probably just have more of an alignment issue than they do a posting issue. And if you could become more aligned with who you are, you're probably going to be able to actually connect with the right people versus trying to keep up with the metrics that you think you need to have to be successful. So
yeah. So, I want to dive into like AI a little bit because you use it a lot, right?
Yeah, I do. I would say decent amount.
What, daily?
Multiple times a day.
Yeah. How has AI changed your business or the people that you coach? How has it changed their business? And like, what are some ways that you're using AI to help people improve their productivity and improve their business overall?
Sure. So first and foremost, I think AI for ideation is huge. I mean, I drove over here with Lacey today, but if I was by myself, I'd have a chat open with the mic on my phone and just have a conversation with AI to ideate on a thought that I had, or an app that I wanted to build, or a website I wanted to design, or something. And then I can save that and go back and reference our conversation versus trying to keep all the thoughts in my head. So I think ideation is huge because, especially, I mean, I've just switched over from ChatGPT to Claude, which I've actually, it has ups and downs. I do think it is, I think ChatGPT is going to be looked at as the MySpace of AI, and then Claude will be more of the Instagram or Facebook.
Yeah.
So the Instagram's coming. I don't know what that is yet.
Yeah.
But I do think ideation is key. Organization and arrangement is key, meaning that I record all of my Zoom calls using an AI called Fathom. So I have the video, and I have the summary, and I have the transcript. And Fathom's free. I don't have the paid version, but I can take that for every one of my onboarding calls, or every one of my one-on-one calls, or every one of my group calls, and take the information that not only what I shared, but what the clients or the leads shared, to dump into a database to reference, to put into a content creation. It's like, these are the things that they're saying, and these are the things that they're talking about, and these are the hooks that you should use because they've said it this many times, and the percentage is this many times, and that many times. So I can take all of the conversations that I'm having on a daily, weekly, monthly basis and dump that into a GPT or a project on Claude. So now that I'm accumulating information, I can take that information and put it into marketing, right? So I have my clients do that too.
Yeah.
I'm like, or if you're not recording every single sales call, and every single client call, and every single win, and every single loss, and every single question, and every single opportunity, and then dumping that into some sort of AI to at least organize, arrange, and track so you can reference it, you're just guessing at what content you should be making.
Yeah.
So there's two ways right there.
So,
go for it.
On that real quick, are you just dumping it into, like a spreadsheet or a file?
So I'll take the transcript and put it into, let's say, a Google Doc, right? And then I'll just
you're uploading that.
The person, the name, the topic is in the tab.
Yeah.
And then I'll take that whole tab, make it into a PDF, and then upload that into the project.
Okay.
And then I'll ask.
And you just
give
tally
it a
up
prompt.
all those different PDFs.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. So, and it's been really helpful for me in shifting from the health and wellness industry to the entrepreneurial mentorship industry, as I know what I'm doing works, but I do, like a lot of entrepreneurs, founders, creators, overthink, which is one of the key ways that AI has helped me help more people, is by not having to overthink, when you can reference a set of topics or pillars to your business, systems to use regularly, and then take that and utilize that information versus trying to overthink of what I should do today.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would take that into a document and then drop it into a project or a conversation, and then from that, I base up what it is I'm trying to accrue, whether it be a lesson or a post or a carousel or whatever I can then go and create.
Yeah.
So ideation, creation, and then what I'm getting better at is, and I'll jump ahead. I'll come back to like the creation process. So that's probably my favorite. The reviewing process, right? So you have we have a system, PDR, planning, doing, reviewing. So in AI, you can utilize this too. So planning is kind of plugging in an ideation, and then doing is the actual creation process and what you can do with that information. And then what a lot of people skip is the reviewing part. They just try and jump to the next planning session instead of looking back on what worked and what didn't work.
Yeah.
So with Claude, there's three different main areas to Claude. And the way I see it is that you have regular Claude conversations. You have Claude Code, where you can create, and then you have Claude Cowork. So with Claude Cowork, I can connect that to my Google Drive or my Gmail or a number of different platforms. And then when information comes in, I can set it to run a certain data set or prompt at a certain time, and then send me information every single day.
Yeah.
So if I were to create let's say if I were to put in a prompt and create something, then after that information comes back, I can have Claude Cowork run that automatically and deliver that to my phone, so I don't have to worry about what had happened, and I just get it delivered to me right away, which I think was huge. So, for instance, one of the things that I am excited about to do with AI, I do check-ins with my clients every single week.
Yeah.
I think it's really important. They're on calls. We do one-on-ones. They come to the office hours. But I think it's important for them to review how they're doing personally and professionally. What went well, what didn't go well, where are they at with their goals? And then send that to me so I can give feedback and then help them plan for the next week.
Yeah.
That's what I'll be doing after this. That's my Friday afternoons. I love it. But I think what I can do, and I thought about this just before I left the house today, is that with Claude Cowork, I can have the titles of those emails in the subject line be like dinged automatically, so that it can review what they said in comparison to last week's, and then write a response automatically, send that to me, and then based on my approval or not, it could send it back to them without even me sitting down and doing the reviews. So like that, and I can give it like a set of parameters on like what to look for, and because we do this in 12-week cycles quarterly, then like where are we at in comparison to week one, et cetera. So like if I set the parameters correctly on Claude Cowork, then it could read the email, write the response, send me the response, I approve the response, and then it drops it in their folder and gives them a notification that the response has come in within a matter of minutes, instead of me sitting down for 2 hours, 3 hours doing
That's pretty sweet. How much time have you spent with AI, just learning it and thinking through different? Because I feel like a lot of it is, it's like the ideas are just like understanding like what you can and can't do, right? I use it daily as well. I've done kind of some of the different aspects of a lot of it is ideas and running through ideas, but even like show notes for this, like I pull either conversations we've had, like your websites, Instagrams, plus the forms that you guys fill out before, and
sure,
and to create like some show notes, and then I go through the show notes and be like, okay, so here's some things that I want to talk about, and it just kind of puts me in the right frame of mind for the podcast episode, right? But how much time have you spent like learning all of that?
I would say, it's a decent amount of time, but not as much as others. I'm learning as I go. So I do follow a lot of accounts that are way more ahead than I am when it comes to AI. I have been overwhelmed by the amount of information they put out, because they're like, this is the best thing and that is the best thing. And so you have to, I posted about this the other day. I said, you really need to know where your gaps are in your business. What do you enjoy doing and what fires you up, and where are you having trouble following up in your business? Awareness again, right? What do you want to continue doing? What do you not want to do? Can AI help you do what it is that you don't want to do? That's where I would focus, so that you can do what it is that you love to do, and then have AI do the rest of it so that you can grow your business. That is what I see most, mid-level entrepreneurs utilizing AI for. If you try and do everything, you're never going to do anything. Right? And the other side of that is become a master of one. It took me a while to get away from ChatGPT because I was just so used to it and comfortable with it. But then as soon as I tried Claude, I was like, okay, I see the benefit here, right? And I have my ups and downs with it, where it's like, oh, I'm on the pro plan and I'm paying $20 a month, and I'm 2 hours into a session, and it's like, you used all of the blah, blah, blah for right now. Come back at 8 p.m. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So there's a bit of a money grab there, and I don't think I want to pay the max. I don't need it to pay like $100+ a month now. But what I'm making with Claude, what I'm going to be able to share with my clients via Claude, is beyond what ChatGPT it's on. And
so you're a fan.
I am a fan, especially because of like the Claude conversations, the Claude Cowork, and the Claude Code. So just before last night, I'm hosting a workshop on Monday on my Power framework, right, which is the engine that helps the infinite content engine go. And you have my THM GPT. This is going to be the next level of that. So calling it ICE, Infinite Content Engine. Probably not a great name these days, but hey, content is content. You know what I'm saying?
It gets get the message out there.
However, what I was able to make which is a prompt, because I'm developing an app, essentially. I'm building an app on Claude Code. I do not know how to code. I'm just vibe coding and talking with it. Building out an app that allows you to open up your phone and then open up today's date based off of your pillars and your ICA and what your clients say and what you've done and your wins and what you're trying to do, is saying like, this is what you need to post today. And then it gives you endless content based on who you're talking to, your relationship with them, top of middle, bottom of funnel, what do you love posting about? Are you a carousel guru, or are you talking head? Do you like the edited stuff? It's going to be able to do all that, so that slowly and surely, like you could just wake up and you'll have a day's worth of content. Or if it's like you schedule in, like, this is your recording day, this is your recording day. But it takes away the ideation day because it's already done for you, because you put in the foundation, and then you can just update it every 30 days because I'm going to run it on a 30-day calendar.
Okay.
So, I mean, before then, that it didn't take more time to build. That's not built yet. But what I have done is I created just a code, a link, or why am I blanking on the word? A prompt for you to fill out with all of that information, so that when you do plug it in, it just presents you a really easy trackable calendar to open up, and you get X amount of posts, like 3 different types of posts per day, so you don't have to think about it. And you can move through the month with a little bit more ease to get rid of the overthinking, anxiety part of posting. Yeah. Like, now I can't show up and be like, say that with more enthusiasm today, Donnie. But like, you can learn those things as more easily when you're not overthinking like what you want to put out there. Yeah. So
it's just like, here's content ideas, pick one, run with it, and go.
Yeah, just put it out there.
Yeah.
I was just telling you before, I mean, I don't do much health and fitness coaching these days. I am running a Jacked by July challenge by popular demand, which I'm having fun with, and we got a couple of people signed up, and that'll be cool. But Lacey and I went to Whole Foods and bought that family meal. Yes. And it was $35 for 4 meals, and I called it a week of meal prep, and the internet lost its mind. It was a perfect post. But I think if you just show up and you're authentic, and you could do that every so often and lean that, like, this is why I'm so passionate about health and fitness and simplicity of food and training, that when I do talk about that, people are like, why are you not doing fitness coaching anymore? Well, and I enjoy it. And then, like, when I get into the business side of coaching, I'm a little bit more educational, a little bit more tactical, and it's not as loud and passionate. So it doesn't get as much engagement online, but I know, like, it's there. My point in saying that is the post that went viral about Whole Foods meal prep, and then the rant that I'd put up there after, when people were yelling at me because of seed oils being in their foods, got a lot more engagement because it just effortlessly came off the tongue, and it was authentically me. And now people are learning about the business side of me more, which is a little bit more calm, a little bit more collected. I mean, there's less to get like up in arms about when it comes to identity. The
health stuff is definitely a hot topic.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, I think what's really important, if we pause and talk about posting and content creation, that you regularly talk about your story, like why you do what you do and how you got here, what it is you're passionate about. So, like, I will never stop posting about fitness and nutrition, because it's such an integral part of who I am. And then just your skills, right? Like, what makes you different than anybody else? So, like, if you're not talking about those things, just start there, and like the right people will start connecting with you. And then everything else about your business and all of that can come afterward.
I think that's great advice, and I think that's like one thing I've noticed, and probably why I started following you whenever I did. But like, you show up as this, like, online, right? Like, that's who you are, and your content is very, like you said, it's just like simple, right? It's just like you just put a camera down and just hit record for a minute or something.
I mean, look, I mean, sometimes it comes across great. Other times, that's why there are edits in the videos, is because I messed up. And I'm like, well, I don't want to say that. And I just don't care anymore, dude. Like, a million posts go up a minute. You know, the 90,000 people that follow me, like, and the 20% of those people that maybe see my stuff, because the algorithm is the algorithm. Just, if it does well, great. If it doesn't, I'm going to post something again in 3 hours, because something will happen in my life that I want to talk about, or I'll just follow my content calendar. How often you're posting? What, 3 times a day? Did you start when you started with Instagram? Like, how many times were you posting? Have you always been pretty consistent? Probably 1 to 2 times a day. And there are seasons where I would be on it, and others where I wouldn't be on it. You know, just like anything else. but I finally feel good after making THM GPT.
Yeah.
And like, just one of the things that I have is like, post something,
Yeah.
right? So after this, I'm going to go in my car, I'm going to put my camera on, and I'm going to talk about the podcast.
Yeah.
And if I want to post about it, it's there.
Right.
Versus like me trying to remember what it is that we had a conversation about
Yeah.
and how I felt in that moment.
Yeah.
Everything is content.
Yeah.
So like before I'm gonna go to Whole Foods, maybe I'll make a part 2 and continue the trend. We're gonna go get our dollar oysters today, and people are gonna be like, oysters are bad for you.
Yeah.
You can't have that many.
Yeah. Is it the right month?
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, like, that's the thing. Like, there's something to make content about.
Yeah.
And you become better at talking to the camera. You become a better storyteller. And that's that real authentic content that people want to connect with, or at least the people that want to follow you, get to know you more, and might be able to purchase what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be there. So.
I think that's what I think. Social media has changed in a good way in that you don't always have to post like my page. It doesn't always have to be real estate content, right?
No. Yeah.
It can be whatever. It can be health and fitness. It could be real estate. It could be all of that mixed in. Like whatever makes me. It's just sharing that.
Yeah, you post dad content. You know what I mean? Like you are a totally different person than I am, and you're talking to a totally different audience. But there are other entrepreneurs, podcast hosts, fitness people, and dads out there that can post about all of those same things, and they're going to sound completely different because they're not you.
Right.
And if you don't share all of those things, you're never going to connect with the people that want to connect with you if they only see real estate Donnie, or they only see fitness Donnie, or like that's the difference.
So you would agree that every business owner needs to have social media and be active on social media, you think?
I don't see a downside to having
it.
I don't think need is important. I mean, they might have if their business has a social media, that could supplement that.
Yeah.
But I do think that there is something to the founder being a part of the story that allows the brand, the business, to be that much more successful.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I don't think it doesn't mean you have to be this extroverted founder.
Right.
You could be a completely introverted founder and bring in the right people for whatever it is you're
Content,
doing.
yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I do think there's a benefit to it, and I don't want to say need. Again, it's not 100%. I don't think anything's 100%. But yeah, I think you do well to lean into that creative side of things and go forward and see what happens.
Yeah, I like that. Mm-hmm. So where can people get more information about your coaching and just connecting with you?
Sure. So easiest place is DM me and let's have a conversation about it. To be honest, everybody's different. So at Cavan TV, CAVAN TV _ on Instagram, mpfcollective.com. Is our website. Lacey just designed our new website, so I'm excited to put that up in the next day or two. Yeah. And that's where to find us. It's just easy. That's me. I'm trying to keep the social and social media. My favorite part is always, I'll do a keyword automation type of post. And I'll be like, DM me post for my infinite posting prompt.
Yeah.
And then I'm just going to shoot you a video message and not do an automation because people are like, wait, you just use my name. I'm like, yeah. I want to have a conversation with you.
Yeah.
And like, that's amazing. And I think we can always do more of that.
Yeah, for sure.
So.
Yeah, cool, man. Well, thanks for being here.
I appreciate you having me.
Hey, thanks for listening to this episode of Palm Harbor Local. Now, if today's conversation made you think differently about where you are, where you're going in life, and what you might need to change, then leave a comment below and share this episode with a friend. You can follow Palm Harbor Local for more conversations like this around wellness, lifestyle, and growth here on Florida's Gulf Coast. We'll see you next time.